I have a rule when I travel and I only buy things that I can use, so I try to buy useful things. And so I bought actually the tablecloth that's over there and the tablecloth from Kosovo that you took the pictures of. But then I just loved her. She was carrying a little chicken or hen. I don't know, she just looked like a traditional Albanian girl, and she obviously is a heifer person because she has the little chicken there. That's why I chose her. I am Diane Greenaway, and this is my granddaughter, Jessica Price.
Hi. My grandmother has created an endowment in honor of her mother and father, Ruth and Ted Greenaway, in order to support the women's issues in Albania and Kosovo.
My name is Diane Greenaway, and I'm Canadian. I was born in Alberta. I was raised in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, which is where Heifer has their Canadian office. Just opened it, country office. And I went to university in Toronto and ultimately came down to Buffalo to work in the anti-poverty program. So I'm a social worker, but I'm a retired social worker. So this is Jessica Thorson, my granddaughter, and Jessie is very special. And when she was 10 years old, a catalog from Heifer came to our home. And it had Susan Sarandon on the front, and I thought she was a pretty good person to believe in. So we worked our way through the catalog and chose a goat for Jessie. So on Christmas morning we gave her a goat, and she wasn't very pleased.
But I was 10!
So then, some 10 years later, I invited her, a Christmas present I gave her, to go on a study tour with me. And I never really expected you to say yes, but you did.
Of course.
And so we didn't much care where we went. We just wanted the experience of Heifer, and we ended up going to Albania and Kosovo because it matched her academic commitments.
Noni gifted a trip, and I wasn't sure what it meant at first. I think I was very curious and very intrigued on what it would be all about. I was a junior in college and was used to all of my, my technological, things that I have here in the States, like my laptop and my cell phone, and
it was 2 weeks without a cell phone. She practically died.
Did, and it was so different, and it was beautiful. The people were beautiful. I just remembered looking at them and thinking, how amazing it is that they got through some of the stories that they told us, and how every day for some of those people was a fight almost to live, a fight to feed their children and their families.
I think in Albania we've been there, but Heifer's had been there since '95, I think. So there was a history. We had fabulous pass on the gift experiences. The joy, the absolute unadulterated joy when the person who was giving the animal was passing it to the next person and signing their name on the agreement. It's really fabulous. When we were in Kosovo, I think the War Widows Project was so phenomenal because the women, all the women had lost their husbands. They had been murdered. And some of them had lost husbands and sons. So any son who was over about 18 when the Yugoslav police or Serbian police came in, or service people, army, whatever, came in and lined them up and shot them. It was sort of that whole group of the 16 to 45, 50-year-olds. So they lost sons and husbands. And so Heifer had gone in Kosovo, and with the War Widows Project had given women heifers. But the critical issue was the pattern, apparently, cultural pattern, was that the women were expected to leave the children that they had. The widows were expected to leave their children with the man's family and go and live with their family until they could be remarried. But they were, in essence, losing their children, their life, and so Heifer went in with the training for cows and the development of a women's group. So that was really powerful, I think, to experience the women and hear their stories. My favorite was when we had the lunch in that sort of, what would you call that hut?
Yeah. Was it cement?
Yeah, I think it
I mean,
wasn't
it was
a completed space yet.
No.
So there was concrete floor and concrete walls with sort of cutouts with no windows, and then so the woman that I was sitting next to said, "We will not bore you with the sadness we hold in our hearts. We are here to celebrate and thank Heifer." And one of the things she said many things. She was a funny lady.
They were very funny.
But she said that Heifer gave her the animal, so that gave her the right to be able to take care of herself and take care of her children. But the greatest gift Heifer gave was the community, the women coming together and sharing and making a life for themselves in community. And that was, for her, what touched her the most. My husband had just died, and I had just retired. Okay, so I'd retired to ostensibly take care of my husband, and he died very quickly. So I was out of 2 jobs. And at the same time, my father had died and had left me a little bit of money. So when I got back from Albania and Kosovo, who was on the trip was Ardith Neal, and I didn't even know Heifer had a foundation. Okay, so and I really got caught up with the whole idea of sustainability, that when you're gifting, it needs to last. And so I decided with my dad's money to set up a foundation in my mother and father's memory. And I just split the money that I had between Albania and Kosovo. I think I am very happy to know that the resources that I have are in a sustainable place, and they're going to be taken well care of and used on behalf of people in the world who have great need. So that seems really important to me, and so I would say I'm very grateful in many ways to my father for making this money available and then being able to pass it on in the tradition of passing on a gift, knowing that